We at the Terran Space Academy want to offer our congratulations to a particular country today, the United Arab Emirates. The United Arab Emirates is a small but wealthy and relatively progressive country in the Arabian Peninsula. This country has decided to join the elite club of nations that is exploring the solar system. The Soviet Union started humanity on its path to expansion to the new frontier. It orbited a satellite around the Earth, put the first man and woman in space, and landed the first rovers on the Moon and on other planets. The only landers to Venus have been Soviet. Venera's 1 and 2 were orbital satellites that failed to reach the orbit, but Venera 3 to 6 weighed a ton and had an orbital component and a spherical lander. Venera 3 was the first human-made object to land on another planet, but its telemetry failed as it made its way through the toxic and heated atmosphere. Venera 4 became the first probe to acquire readings from another planet, but was only rated to 25 atmospheres. The lower levels of Venus' atmosphere turned out to be 75 to 100. It was crushed before reaching the surface. Veneras 5 and 6 were of the same design and were equipped with larger parachutes so they could report data as long as possible and allow the Soviets to design a stronger probe. Venera 7 was built much stronger from the new data and was able to survive impact despite a last-minute parachute failure. It landed on its side and sent pressure and temperature information until it failed. It reported 90 atmospheres of pressure at the surface and a temperature of 465 centigrade. It also reported wind speeds as high as 362 kilometers per hour. Venera 8 landed safely and transmitted data for an hour. Veneras 9, 10, and 11 were even stronger, weighing 5 tons. They survived a landing and sent back pictures for about an hour each before failing. Venera 12 landed and sent back data but had camera problems and sent back no pictures. I make note of these historic missions to stress that making it to and landing on Venus is much easier than making it to and landing on Mars. The Soviets had 5 failed Mars missions and the US 1 before the United States was able to get a satellite to do a flyby of Mars and send back data. The Soviet Union lost 3 more orbiters before getting a lander to the surface in 1971, making the Soviets the first to successfully land on both Venus and Mars. The first lander on Mars only survived about 14.5 seconds. After these successes, the United States rose to prominence, putting the first human on the Moon and the first successful lander to survive on Mars. Understand that a Mars landing is much more difficult than a Venusian landing. Mars has an atmosphere just thick enough to generate a lot of heat, but not thick enough to slow you down appreciably before you impact the surface. Venus has an extremely thick atmosphere, making it pretty easy to bring something down, but very difficult to engineer something that can survive the extreme conditions on the surface. The Soviets lost 4 more missions before the US orbited Viking 1 later in 1975, landing it on the surface, where it operated for 2,245 sols. The Viking 2 lander was also a success. Since that time, roughly 50% of the missions sent to Mars by the Soviets, the Europeans, and the United States have failed. The fact that the United Arab Emirates have funded and developed a Mars orbiter and, with the help of a Japanese Hydrolox rocket, sent it on its way to Mars is a clear victory in itself. It shows that forward-thinking countries that are not superpowers can be a part of humanity's aspirations in space. There was a time when science and philosophy survived the dark ages of Europe only because those who valued science and reason in the Arab world preserved the words of Aristotle, Plato, and Socrates, as well as creating algebra and advancing math and science. We at the Terran Space Academy hope that this great step forward will herald a new chapter for this nation and region of our planet, and wish to offer our congratulations to President Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Vice President Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Mohammed bin Rashid Space Center, and the United Arab Emirates Space Agency. To your success and future in space. Best wishes always, the Terran Space Academy.